this operating room at Long Island's North Shore Hospital, Uday Hatem is under anesthesia for surgery. Thousands of miles from his Iraqi home.
I'm gonna need a tie.
And 14 months into a journey in America to repair his face. This was once the friendly face that an Iraqi might see translating for American soldiers outside a Baghdad base. A face friends say is nearly always smiling. A face half destroyed in a flash of attempted murder.
All of this was the implant that we made for him.
Plastic surgeon Dr. Kaveh Alizadeh will perform an 8th reconstructive surgery on Uday. Today he'll build up tissue over a synthetic cheekbone implanted 6 months ago and continue work on a reconstructed nose.
All of the tissue that you see on the right side of his nose is actually from his forehead. Okay. So that's tissue that was brought in from his forehead, and now we're just trying to make it look more and more like a nose by chiseling it and sculpting it and giving it better definition. See, the purpose of our surgery at this point is to make it so that at a conversational distance, he doesn't attract attention, so people can actually talk to him without sort of feeling conscious about it.
Uday's sojourn from his home in Iraq began with a single bullet and ends here in Staten Island, New York.
The people here is very nice, in Staten Island or New York, state.
This is his temporary home, the Mount Manresa Jesuit Retreat Center.
Because when anybody I meet him, really, they are very kind, and they are, also they sorry for what happened to me and also what happened to my country, especially at this time when the terrorists, they came from everywhere and they make it worse,
Mount Manresa is where Elisa Montanti runs a small nonprofit that helps children injured by war. By chance, or kismet as they say in Arabic, she met Uday in a Kuwaiti hospital. She knew almost immediately that she wanted to help him.
And I met Uday, and there was no questions in my mind that he needed help and that I wanted to help.
She and her sister put up their own money to bring him to New York.
Uday is quite easy to love. This is why everybody gravitates to Uday. His spirit is just contagious, in spite of what happened to him. He just loves life. He's beautiful.
In April 2003, Uday watched American troops enter Baghdad. In school, Uday had always loved his English classes. He decided to offer his services to the army as a translator.
Sometimes they put me in the gate to translate to Iraqi people who want to come, or sometimes in the hospital.
In the weeks after the invasion, translators weren't yet targets. They didn't disguise themselves or wear body armor. The army gave Uday a salary and a pickup truck to do his work. He set up a stand to sell soda pop and cigarettes at the base and hired his friends to help run it. Then on May 12th of that year, nearly 2 months after the invasion of his country and 11 days after the American president landed on an aircraft carrier to declare major combat operations over in Iraq, Uday met an enemy on the road.
They was waiting for me, because I think they saw me when I go out.
3 men stopped him on his way back to the base. One had a gun.
At this moment, really, I feel like there is something, will happen, really bad thing. And then they asked me, why you working with the America? Why you help them? Yeah, so I want to start talking with them to tell them, what's going on. They shoot me. When I found this man, he put the gun on my face, I put my arm, like that. Like this I do. Then he shoot me on my arm, and it go inside my face after the bullet. Yeah. Like 5 or 6 days, I do not know anything after that. I remember just this moment. Then after 6 days, I wake up I found myself like in the hospital. And many nurses, I asked where I am, what's going on, what happened? They said, you are here in Kuwait, hospital. And the American army, they bring you here. Then I spent 7 months in this hospital. They make me many surgery for my nose, my face, my eye, my arm. After 7 months, the doctor told me that you have another surgery after 2 months. But at this time, the ministry, Kuwaiti Ministry of Health, they refused to do anything for me.
He would have to go home to Baghdad, still horribly disfigured.
And thank God, at this time, Elisa Montetti, she came to Kuwait.
He lost his eyes, lost a sense of smell, hearing, and half his face, and his arm was injured. So when I did return back to the States, I immediately, tried to find doctors who would help.
After 2 years, Elisa had lined up pro bono doctors and the hospital and arranged for Uday to come to New York.
They had basically just closed the wounds. So this gives you an idea of the magnitude of what was missing.
Well, I've been doing volunteer work now for the past 10 years. That's one of my passions. That's something that I've done for a long time. And it was interesting because I was actually in northern Iraq doing volunteer work. I said, well, I was there doing this kind of work in his home country, but we never met. So now he's come full circle. He's come to meet me instead of me meeting him there.
A week after surgery, Uday comes in for a follow-up visit with Dr. Alizadeh. A small grant from the New York Times Neediest Cases Fund gave him money to get to and from his doctor's appointments. And lawyers working pro bono would work on Uday's case for asylum. Uday is still a marked man for working with the Americans, and he and his family live under constant threat.
I don't consider the job being done. Yes, their life is saved, but we don't consider ourselves whole until we can look in the mirror and see the person that we know ourselves to be and make that connection with that person.
Because they remember.
You're an old friend, right?
Uday knows he's lucky. Those intersections of fate have kept him alive, and in the coming months he will once again be able to show his face without a gauze bandage, thanks to the support of a network of people.
Here's the area. You can, if you want to. You see how we sort of made this nice turn here on the nose?
Yeah, I see.
There are a lot of Udays out there, unfortunately, and that will never be given the chance. Uday and I were both in the right place at the right time, and I just recruited a bunch of angels that were on board with me.
One day when he rode the Staten Island ferry as it passed the Statue of Liberty, Uday got a phone call. It was another one of those angels, telling him he had been granted asylum.
I hope my family will come here, especially my kids, they go to school to learn the English and to live good life here. And also we will go back to Iraq at least, because if everything there is peace and no problem, we will go back.
Not everyone believes in fate or miracles. But sometimes stories do come along with these uncanny intersections that make the most hardened cynic believe in the kindness of Kismet.
It's been quite a journey for Uday, for me, for everyone involved. It says something to the American people as well, the people that feel that, just label the Iraqis, stereotype them, as being terrorists or just being different people. And it's a lesson to be taught, so I feel gifted personally that I have been given the opportunity to help Uday.